Hello everyone, I hope that you are doing well today, and in this video I am going to be harvesting my potatoes that I have growing outside, and this will be the first time that I am ever harvesting potatoes, and so this will be very exciting. So this morning I made some banana pancakes. All I did was just have mushed up banana and I just mixed it in with the pancake mix. And this was some homemade bread that I made during the week. I've been getting into a habit of making some bread every Friday, and it will last for about a week, and it's just been really fun having homemade bread in the house. So these are the squash plants over by the side next to the potatoes, and they are growing pretty well. They're growing pretty slow, but they're growing.
Okay, so today is the day I'm going to be harvesting these potatoes. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for these, and then these are the ones I'm going to be harvesting today.
In the future, when I go and plant some more potatoes, I know that I need to plant them a little bit deeper in the ground. These are red potatoes, so I didn't have to mound them like other varieties of potatoes. But I guess the thing that I didn't realize is how the potatoes were gonna grow, and they grew more to the sides and a little bit kind of upwards versus down. I don't know why I thought they would grow downwards a little bit, so when I went and planted the potatoes, I didn't plant them as deep. So I think when I go and plant more, I'm hoping I can plant some more this year. The weather's been very weird this season, that I can get another harvest of potatoes in for fall. But I have to admit, I am just like super grateful that I even got any potatoes at all, because all I did was plant two potatoes in each container, and I winded up getting more than what I put in, and I see that as a success. And honestly, it was like so much fun being able to record this moment, because this is my first time ever harvesting potatoes, and so it would be like a memory that I can look back to. And then what I'm going to be doing is cleaning these potatoes, and I wait a couple of days, and then I go and harvest the other potatoes. And I waited because I wanted to see what else, or how much other or more potatoes that there were, because some of these potatoes, as you can see, they were kind of small, and so I didn't cook anything with the smaller ones. I actually set them aside because I wanted to see if they would start to spud again, and well, I guess get into the process of spudding, and then I could plant them. And do the whole process all over again. I haven't seen any spuds on the tiny ones that I had just mentioned, but I did go out and buy more red potatoes, and I have them inside of a brown paper bag at the moment. This voiceover is like a couple weeks later of me harvesting and doing this video. And so I'm hoping that the spudding happens kind of quickly so that I can get them into the ground. Okay, so a couple days have passed, and then this is when I'm going in and harvesting the other container. And as you can see, there are a bajillion mosquitoes, and because of it, they were attacking me like crazy. And mosquitoes love me for some reason, and so I was gonna cook food this day and continue with the video, but because they were all swarming me, it made me worn out and made me not want to do anything else. And it was super hot that day too, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna chill out, take a break. And so yeah, so with this container, I was able to get 2 really large potatoes out of it, and again, that was a really cool find. And so yeah, as you can see, the mosquito bites, they were pretty big. So these are the potatoes that I'm cooking with. They're all clean. And so I'm just going to be cleaning up here, and then I'm going to be getting into cooking a meal with things in the garden. And this is going to be a really interesting meal because all the ingredients for this dish, this particular dish, because I made other dishes too, but this dish, everything was from the garden except for the salt, pepper, and then I put Parmesan cheese on it. I was thinking about putting the garlic chives on there, but I honestly had just forgot to harvest it. I wasn't thinking in the moment, and so yeah, this is the first time harvesting potatoes and then eating homegrown potatoes like that too. So yeah, this was a really fun experience, and I will say, I think it might be a thing from here on out that I will try to always grow potatoes. And so the type of dish that I'm making, I'm going to be boiling the potatoes, and I want them soft, and then I'm going to cut them up, and then I'm going to be putting into I guess I would call it like a stir fry dish, is what I'll be putting that into afterwards. I saw online different ideas of how you could put potatoes into a stir fry. Like you could cut them up really thin and then put it in there, but I thought it'd be interesting to boil them first because I've never done it like that. So, and yeah, spoiler, they came out really well. Like the way how I cooked the potatoes and then put them in the stir fry, that was a really good way of using that. And so I'm harvesting from the garden from out back Swiss chard, parsley, sweet basil, endive, and some kale. Yeah, that's what I'll be harvesting. And I found out with the endive, it's something that I've complained about before, about having a very like earthy taste to it, and I found out that if you let them soak in water, cold water, with some salt in there, that the taste will not be as strong. And I didn't know this at first, but the endive is known to have a taste like that. I actually did not know that. I thought there was something with the way I was growing it. Oh yeah, and then the other thing I forgot to mention was I harvested a couple of bush beans, and I had some already from a couple weeks ago, and so I just had put them in the little baggie, and I had them laying out on the counter. And yeah, so the kale, it was growing really super duper well. I'm super happy to see how the kale grows. Like, it's something that I feel I need to grow all of it in this container, um, because for some reason spinach is just, it's not my friend at the moment. I need to learn a bit more on how I can perfect growing spinach. And so this is the part where I am letting everything soak. I'm trying to organize it to where I'm taking out all the endive leaves. I should have probably put it in a different bowl so that I didn't have to separate it and everything like this. But I also let the Swiss chard leaves soak in there as well. I don't think it was as needed or necessary, but I don't know. I just thought it would be interesting to just see like what happens. Because usually when we eat kale and I cook that up in the stir fry, it has a pretty good taste to it already. I don't ever have a problem with kale and like a earthy taste. And then this is where all the herbs are, the parsley and the sweet basil. I just let all that just sort of dry out. And yeah, I just take care of all of the greens, and I'm getting the kale prepared, taking the stem off, and just getting everything prepared. And soon I'll be starting up the pan on the stove, and we'll get in the stir fry ready. So the first thing that I decided to start chopping up were the parsley and the sweet basil, just so that I could have that aside and have that already cut and ready to go for when I go and put it in, because it's sort of the last thing that I want to put in, just so nothing like burns or overcooks or anything like that. And then the other thing I forgot to mention too were the radishes. I harvested those as well. And I got a lot of good sized radishes, and I'm really happy about that. And then there were a couple where they were really small still, and it's like it never grew. Um, so I'm not really sure what happened there, because the leaves, all the leaves are kind of like the same height in a way. So I'm not sure. Maybe I could have had to plant them a little bit deeper or something. I don't know, but again, I did get a lot of good sized ones, and they don't really take that long to grow, so I was pretty happy about it. So I am going to be getting a pan ready, and I'm going to be putting some olive oil in there, and I'm going to be putting in the endive and the Swiss chard in first. I also remove the stem from the Swiss chard, and at first I was gonna like chop them up, but then I realized the leaves kind of just were broken apart and kind of fell apart already in my hand, so I just did that. And then oh yeah, I forgot. That's not the first thing I put in. The first thing I put in was the radishes and the bush beans, and then the first greens that I do put in afterwards, it will be the Swiss chard and the endive, just because I think the Swiss chard needed a little bit more time to cook, to break down. I also add some salt and some pepper and butter during this stage too, just so that everything could have some flavor and just be able to move around and not stick to the pan. And then once the potatoes were done, I went ahead and let them cool down a little bit, and then I went and cut them up just so that they could cool even more, and I just cut them into the pieces that I knew that I would put them into the stir fry. Well, I think I was wrong again. I think I put the kale in first, and then I put in the other greens. But regardless, it doesn't really matter. I could have put all the greens in at once and then um, let them just like cook down, but I knew that it was a lot, and I didn't want to overdo it. Yeah, and then once I had put the endive in, because I can see that now, I decided to put a little bit more olive oil and some lemon juice on it because I thought that would help um, just maybe get rid of any other earthy taste that there might be. And this was the first stir fry that I've made like this, where from the garden, where I didn't put soy sauce in it because usually I do to try to get rid of all of that earthy taste and just, give it kind of a saltier taste to it overall. Um, but after, because this isn't the first time that I've done the method with the cold water and the salt. This is the second time, and so I knew that it would work. Um, but yeah, it works very well, and I'm super pleased that I found a different way instead of like trying to over season it. And so once everything was cooked down, that's when I added the potatoes, and then this is when I added more seasoning. And I just wanted to keep it really simple, right? Like I added some onion powder, some salt, some pepper, some butter, just to, kind of give it some flavor. I did add some garlic powder too because like how I said, I would have added the garlic chives. I just completely forgot about it, and then by the time that I realized, I was kind of whooped with the cooking because I was cooking other dishes too. Um, and so I didn't feel like doing it, I will admit. But I did put in some chili powder and paprika for a little bit of heatness and also a little bit of like a red tone, to it because I do like it when the dish is, um, pleasing to look at as well. I like the colors and stuff. And yeah, so then the other thing I added to, I mentioned earlier, was the Parmesan cheese. And I think adding cheese to this, like just even just like a little sprinkle of it, I think it really brought the dish together. Just because it's potatoes and cheese mixed together, that's a pretty good dish in itself. Like there's other dishes like that, and yeah, mix it, have everything else mixed in there, like the radishes and the greens. It was such a really good mix, and this is something that I would probably make again in the future. And so this is about the end of the video. I just do a quick taste test one more time, and yeah, everything was good, everything was pleasing, and I am just very grateful and happy to finally grow some potatoes. It's something that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and I was able to do it. And so thank you so much for watching, for seeing my gardening journey. It's really meaningful, and I'm glad that I can share it with you guys. And so I hope that you have a great one. I will see you next week, and bye bye.